our async task class, so now it's ready to start downloading the content from the web. So for that, we are going to create a constant with the URL. So in Java, the most similar thing to a constant, which is the opposite to a variable is a field that is changing value, and a constant is going to be something that never changes the value. So for that, what we do is call it final. Final means that the value is only going to be assigned once. So we are going to have a string here, everything in uppercase. This is the way to declare a content. It's a style rule. And now I'm going to paste here the URL that I have for Reddit. So this is reddit.com alt JSON, and also I'm going to have a limit of 5 posts. Okay. Now I'm ready to start creating my HTTP connection. After this lesson, I'm going to do the same, but with a library called OKHTTP, which is doing the same much more easier. So if you see this part a bit complex, you don't need to follow me in this example. Just take a look, don't copy what I'm doing, just try to understand it. I just want to teach you how the base of the library works. So then when you use the library, you will understand what it's doing internally. Okay, so for that, in the doing background method, I'm going to start doing my connection. So I'm going to create a HTTP client, which is going to be a default HTTP client. Then I'm going to have a HTTP get, because what I am going to do is a get request. There are basically two requests, get and post. When we send our parameters in the URL, it's a get request. When we send our parameters like in a form, like hidden from the user, that is a post request. In this case, we are using get request. Okay, we need here the URL. And now that we have defined the request, which is based on a HTTP client, get the response from this URL. Okay, execute. Okay, and I need a basic HTTP context here. This is going to need a try and catch because the connection can fail. And now, in the case that the connection has failed, we are going to ignore this one now. Okay, just for you to know what it is. Now we are ready to get the response, and the response, the way is get is an input string. This is a stream of data, so this means that the response is coming in on a stream. It's not coming in a single variable, so we have to convert this stream to a string in this case. So okay, input string is equal to response get entity get content. Okay, the HTTP response is coming from an entity, and inside it has the content, which is the input string that we need. Okay, now the string result that we want, I'm going to declare it here as an empty string. So if there is a connection and the content is coming from the input string, this is going to be an input string to strings. Okay, now I need to create a method that converts an input string to a string. This is not very interesting at all. It's just a thing to see how it's done and copy and paste it more. what we need to do is declare a line. So basically we are going to go over all the lines of the input string, and we are going to store that in a variable. I'm going to create a variable total with all the lines on it. Now the way to deal with this input string is going to be with a buffer to be reading all the string. So in this case it's going to be buffer reader. Okay, which needs an input string reader, which needs an input string. Okay, and now we need to do the while to read all of this. I'm going to create a try catch in case of this fail. Okay, so in case that there is an exception here, or in this try catch, the try catch basically is you are doing this code here on the try. So if something happens, if an error occurs, the application is not going to crash. That's why we are controlling the exception. If something bad happens, this is coming to the catch part. Now I'm going to do the while line is equal a buffer reader read line, and it's not due. This means that we have not finished reading the string. Then to the total we append a line. Okay, so basically that's all. Now at the end we can just return the total to a string. Sorry, I need the return type on the method. Okay, now I have the method. I am having an async tag doing the connection, converting the response to a string, and finally I am going to returning the string. So now if I open this on the Anymotion, what I am going to see is the response of the website in the toast in the message that we are showing. We launch this on any emulator and we see an error. Okay, let's see what's happening. So we come to errors in our application, and it says that we are missing the internet permission. Of course that this is basic and I have forgot, but you always forget when you are doing the application. It's not until when you run it when you realize. So we need the permission of our application here. So what that uses permission internet. Okay, here. So we need this because our application is using the internet, so we need to specify the permission. Okay. We can see the response on the message, which is what we wanted originally. Don't worry about all of this, because if you are new to programming, this is a bit complex. The buffer string, the buffer reader, the input string, the HTTP, what is the entity. Don't worry, because for that in the next lesson you are going to use a library, which is what is used commercially. So even if you have some knowledge, it's good to know which are the companies using, what are the libraries used commercially to do the HTTP request, or if you are a beginner, it's better because it's going to make your life much easier when making a HTTP request.